Hello everyone, and oh, sorry, Rapid.
Yeah, kicks! You had
Worst
one
timing!
job!
I did...
Ah,
Oh well, welcome everyone to the STPL. My name is Kix. Joining me is Rapid, and I somehow managed to catch him off guard again with swapping cameras,
every
so...
time.
I
If I
even
were like,
said,
Kicks,
are
I'm
you
gonna
ready?
take my pants off for like 1 second. Just don't show me on stream for that 1 second. You're like, okay. Then spontaneously his hand would just go to the keyboard and change the scene. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. How do I stop it? Like, I don't know, Kicks. I can't save you from yourself.
Yeah, I know, I'm not the best at production, you know. I'm always good at making sure people are ready. Admittedly, I did say, are you ready? And I swear I heard you say yes.
You did. Okay, all right. Half of this
Yeah.
is on me, but only at most 50%. It's good to be back for another week of STPL Kicks. How are you?
I am fine, thank you very much. You?
I'm fine. It's a very rainy day in South Korea, or I guess rainy night. Now that you've
Yeah.
decided to delay the start of STPL for an additional hour for no reason.
Other than the World Clock changer, man, I can't help it. It's not my fault Korea don't change their timings. Like, I mean, to be honest,
Is
I
it
wish we
though?
didn't. It'd be better if we didn't, because I get this weird, like, mini jet lag of, like, my life changing when I realize I've got to wake up, like, an hour later or something. But either way, it's all well and good. We're going to be going into a couple of good sets today, just to quickly have a look at Group B, because we're going to be starting with our Group B match, because it's our European teams. Allows them to tune in a little bit easier. At the top of Group B we have Seoul Gaming, IRK, NetWars, and Red, all incredibly close. Seoul Gaming ahead, of course, of the pack. But our match today is going to be between Clan, Revolution, and Psystorm. So while they can't actually make it out of Group B into the playoffs this time, they're playing for a little bit of pride and to see how high up they can make it. Obviously, all their stats are recorded, and it'll be shown at a later date as well, so they want to make sure they've got a few extra wins under their belt. And just to introduce our first two teams, Clan Revolution and Psystorm. I mean, Psystorm unfortunately haven't won a single full set so far. They have won individual games this round, but as you can see from their win-loss ratios at the bottom, it's not been looking too good for them. But Clan Revolution, in comparison, have actually been doing pretty well. They haven't actually had a single Zerg play for them this time, though, which is kind of strange. But there's going to be a return of a fan favorite Zerg today, so that should be pretty cool.
I'm glad you spoiled them, because I guess people could have looked up the STPL link on Team Liquid, but in case they didn't, they're tuning in here and their brains are just aflutter, wondering, I wonder who could possibly be playing here today. But then you just give it away with the next slide, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's not actually that big a surprise.
Yeah, so we're going to start off with a PvP between XzOz and Headmaster. A ZBP between Care Bear, that is Avilov. He is finally back playing for ReV again. Obviously Avilov, the fan favorite Zerg, as I'm doing air quotes. And then we've got a PvZ between CRVT and Cold, and then a TVP to finish us off here with the Camper versus Marine, and that's going to be on Plasma. So just a quick round up just to show off the map images quickly. Katrina SE set 1, Shin Peaks of Big Do set 2, Neo Ground Zero set 3, set 4 on Plasma, and the ace match here on Coliseum 2.
Yeah, very excited, of course, to see Shin Peaks of Baekdu, my favorite map. Katrina just always surprises me by how strange it can be, but it's wasn't there a recent ASL map that was very similar to Katrina? I can't exactly remember what it is, but there's another map that's like very similar to that. I can't remember exactly what it is, but somehow we keep letting Plasma sneak into the map pool. Kicks. I think you might have a bug in your software.
Yeah, it'll rotate out. Then we're gonna have Athena 2 back in from week 7, and then obviously I think Plasma will be back for the grand finals, but that'll be a best of 7, so that should be fun. And that's a little bit of a way off. We've still got 2 weeks worth of games. But as you can see with the two players, we're going to have a PvP here. XzOz on the left-hand side of your screen has played 5 PvPs so far, winning 3 for 2 of them. 3 over 2 of them even, and Headmaster pSi Storm winning 3 for 1 of his PvP, so quite evenly matched statistically. Should be kind of cool to see how they're going to do. We've seen a few PvPs on Katrina so far, not as many as I was actually expecting, only 4 so far, and there have been some really fun matches, so I'm hoping as we get into game number 1 here of our first match that it should be as interesting as some of the ones we've seen before. We won't see a really boring or very quick PvP. But without further ado, let's get into game number 1. It's going to be ReV's XzOz versus pSi's Headmaster.
Versus XzOz phone alarm.
My phone alarm? Oh, what? That's not my phone alarm. I thought I muted my phone. Okay, either way, someone was calling me. I'll deal with that in a second. So let's get over to the game. And starting us off here in the 12 o'clock position, we do have the yellow Protoss fighting pSi, its Headmaster.
And his opponent in the 9 o'clock position as the orange Protoss. This is XzOz playing for ReV, of course.
Yeah, now this is one of those moments where there's not really too much to talk about. Both of them play relatively standard PvPs. I've not really seen anything too crazy come out from either of them. And it's just kind of wait and see what's going to happen. Of course, this is just the first game of our best of 5 here. Both teams will want to start to get the initiative if they can. And obviously mirror matchups can always be a little bit strange in how they're executed. So I guess we'll have to see what happens.
Why is your Twitter emoji for ReV a red circle, Kix?
Because it's a revolution, man. Get it?
What? No. Kix. Boo this man!
My emoji game isn't as much on point as yours
Kix,
is, man.
Is it possible to ban yourself from your own channel?
I think it is.
Oh my god. Okay, alright, well, get right on that. We'll get our top man on the job. I was looking at that for like a solid minute, and I'm like, in what way does a red circle... Okay, well, Kix, yeah, we'll get Kix, we'll teach him like emoji 101 after this one. But I appreciate the effort, Kix. This is where if we were playing basketball, I would say something like good hustle, which actually means you did basically what everybody else did and moved your body down the court, but that's all I can say. So that's my analysis of your emoji game, because there's actually nothing more to talk about. I believe this is actually exactly mirrored builds on both sides, right?
Yep, same as always,
sick.
So it's all good.
Nice. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, you did in fact put out a poll for our viewers, correct?
I did indeed. You can press the names on the screen. The poll I've done here is what I was meant to do when I started up the cast but forgot. It's who you guys think is going to win between pSi and ReV, and I'll throw up a separate poll for Headmaster and XzOz afterwards. But it's just a little bit of a flair I added to the cast to try and get the audience a little bit more involved and see some more statistics, because statistics are always good.
You know what I think would be a nice little flair to add to the broadcast, Kix?
What's that?
Well, there's this song, and
I see where this is going.
Yeah, I think that maybe perhaps if that was added to the broadcast, then maybe that would add some pizzazz, if you will.
It's coming.
Oh boy, I can hardly. Is that going to be my Christmas present for this year?
It is. It is.
You were doing this like this cringy 12 days of rapid game for Christmas or whatever, and I was like, I know where this is going to, but wait, did that Zella kill a probe?
It did indeed.
Wow.
The probe at the other side, still alive though. There was a little bit of a benefit there for XzOz as well. He did get the quicker scout, obviously his probe is still alive as well. Headmaster maybe over microing his Zealot just a little bit back at home, but still mirror builds.
Okay, nice. Wait, is that that's the probe hiding in the upper left-hand corner, right? Okay, yeah. It actually always like kind of surprises me how deceptively close these bases are if you spawn in close locations. Because this is another one of those maps kind of like Roadkill in that it's a 4-player map, but the bases aren't in the corners. But unlike Roadkill, so Roadkill has these rock arcs around the bases that make it the same travel distance between all 4 bases, no matter where you spawn.
Yeah.
And I really respect that. Super, shout outs to Freakling for being a badass map maker and thinking that through, because that's not the case here on Katrina. If you spawn close, you're actually just right there. Wait,
Oh
can
my
that
God.
Dragoon seriously not shoot the probe behind the mineral line?
That micro is insane.
The dumbest units in the game. What are you? And it leaves it with 1 HP. Okay, get out of this game.
Oh,
you
the Zealot.
Okay, all right, and then it dies to the Zealot. So anyway, anticlimactic finish, but I can't believe a Dragoon can't shoot the probe behind the mineral line there. What are you even for?
I think it can. I think it was just confused. I don't know. I mean, range wasn't quite finished, so maybe it was just out of shot range, so every time it went shoot, it moved too far away or something.
Okay. Dragoon apologist kicks. They don't need any more help. Wow, this is that was really awkward to watch. So anyway, we do have the first little tiny tech choice for both players. Anticlimactically, it's actually the exact same tech choice. So yeah, so nothing actually exciting has happened all game long, except for me bullying kicks. But that happens every cast, so it's okay.
Yeah, you're gonna laugh when you see what I've got as the 12th day. Oh, 1 second.
Oh my god.
That's I know what that is. You carry on. I'll be there in a
second. Okay, all right. So while it kicks, make sure that the prison guard understands he's still in his cell. It looks like Kix is getting in a fight with the prison guard. You can't see Kix on camera, but he's being beaten down with a baton right now because he was bad and didn't check in on time. But I hope the prison guard lets him come back to cast STPL. Oh, did the prison guard let you come back?
He did. He said I've still got a few more hours of free time, and then I get to go back to my cell. It's all good.
Okay, all right, sick. I'm glad that they didn't take you away for bad behavior, Kix.
Yeah, no, I'm all good, thankfully. But yeah, that was just my stepbrother popping up with my washing. My washing machine's still broken, so my dad's been doing my washing for me.
I think your washing machine would be like a great Dragoon, Kix.
It would, yeah. I think it'd be able to shoot the probe, to be honest. But
all you gotta do is put 4 robot legs on it, and it's just like, you're good. I'm pretty sure it would do about the same amount of damage. Okay, so we do actually have some divergences coming out here in that Headmaster wants to play this a little bit more aggressively. Honestly, it really surprises me that Psystorm has not been able to pick up a match win, because it's not like they're a bad team. It's just that it's hard to string things together for them, I guess. So good snipe on the Observer there, so at least that much is a big benefit. But high ground is maybe a little bit more important. And so depending on where these armies kind of hit each other, there is high ground right here on the ramp, and that would be a great place for Headmaster to decide to fight.
Yeah, now the crazy thing is they're still both going for mirror builds, so they've even got pretty much mirror unit compositions as well. One of the Dragoons from Headmaster getting a little bit confused, going the wrong way up the ramp, going to be heading back into death most likely. But this is definitely a very good place for Headmaster to try and engage. Maybe not here though, as he is moving down onto low ground, moves back up but loses a Dragoon. But still, XzOz is a little bit worried about pushing his amount high ground.
This is one of the kind of deceptive parts about this map, is that even though you're pretty close to your opponent, you still have to traverse low ground to high ground in order to push them with land units. So unless you walk all the way around the side, but this position that Headmaster has actually really controls this map super well. So as long as he chills out there, he should be okay. But with both players expanding, that sort of brings the rotational symmetry of the map into play. And Kix, hello?
You're still here. It's fine. You've just dropped from the game somehow.
No, you've just dropped from the game.
Okay. I mean, there's a stream of at least 36 people watching.
I can screenshot my stream, Kix. I promise. This is you dropping from the game.
The good thing is, if we both drop each other, the replay still continues, I think, so we're fine. It's all good.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it kicks.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
Okay,
I think we're actually at exactly the same time too.
Yeah.
Wait, what time are you at?
7:43.
No. Oh, it looks like we reconnected to each other.
Yeah, we're all good.
Okay. Thank you, StarCraft. I appreciate you letting us continue to cast this game. Anyway, what I was going to say is that XzOz is expanding away from Headmaster, whereas Headmaster is expanding closer to XzOz. So if he goes for something like Shuttle Reaver, obviously that's better for XzOz.
Yep, and he is going to be going for either. Both of them are. I'm fairly certain both of them spoke to each other before the game, exchanged build orders, and that's what they've been doing. Just seeing who's going to win with... I mean, one thing you can say about a mirror, actually,
Hailing frequencies
is...
open.
Thank you, Jenna, for the host.
It
Yeah.
reflects stuff.
Basically, with mirrors, yeah, I mean, how do they work?
It tells you if you're the most beautiful one of them all.
In mirror matchups in StarCraft, you both have the exact same tools, and it's how you use those tools and how well you can use them as well. Depends on who is going to win eventually. Now, that's even amplified even more when you're going for these mirror builds. The one difference we saw is XzOz got his expansion up a little bit quicker. They are going both for gas at exactly the same time, and I mean, neither player is really willing to sort of push forward at the moment, because any wrong move could cost them the game. I mean, XzOz does have a 7 supply lead, 9 supply lead now, so you can see he's got a little bit of an advantage there from that earlier expansion. But can he ride it from here to victory?
Oh, that is certainly the question there, isn't it now, Kix?
It is.
I think the bigger idea is just going to be who decides to play more aggressively and who decides to play more offensively. And I think XzOz recognizes that because of exactly what I said about the closer expansion, that he has the opportunity to play it a little bit more aggressively. So that's exactly what he's going to do. He's getting shuttle speed right now, and so that's going to help him harass that close expansion. But the observer getting in here should be able to see this. He just has to watch out for a counter observer.
Yeah, one big difference we see as well is we saw a very early Cybernex Core and Forge come up for Headmaster over in his base, so he's getting a quicker Zealot speed. Could also go for quicker +1 as well, so the longer this game goes on, he could actually be in a bit of advantage. The Observer, of course, did see the double Reaver. Should know there's going to be a shuttle on the way. Don't actually... Yeah, shuttle speed's on the way for XzOz as well, so... we see a cannon coming up in Headmaster's Mineral Line. He's already got Dragoons there to defend. And I'd say the tide is turning a little bit in Headmaster's favour the longer this game goes on. And XzOz is only just now starting his Forge.
Snipe on the observer, and there we go. All right, Dragoons have redeemed themselves. Actually, these are XzOz's Dragoons. They were always the smart ones, but Headmasters, I don't know about that one. But yeah, you're right. And we are going to start to see that legs in +1 for the man lots to come out from the Headmaster here pretty soon. But same on the other side. Actually, no, it's double Forge, so +1/1 coming through for XzOz. That's kind of interesting. I don't actually see that all that often.
Yeah, it's not often you really see PvPs go like this, so neither player has really been that aggressive. I think 2 units were killed, like 2 Dragoons from Headmaster's side. But both players are just powering up behind this, both teching to the best of their ability and just trying to build a big army. They're playing No Rush 20 minutes right now, and it seems to be working out for both players.
What is it? What's the fastest maxed out time for Protoss? I think it's like 7.5 minutes? Something like that, if you just power as fast as you can. So if we're hitting 11 minutes right now at 100 supply, and they're going to keep playing passively, then honestly, I mean, we could see something not that far away from 7 minutes, maybe like 14 for just maxed out armies. But
yeah,
you would think, hey, if you're going for maxed out armies, what are some good things to get? Well, High Templar with energy, so you can store that all up, and upgrades. And we kind of got both of those.
Yeah, we've got Storm coming in for Headmaster. I've not seen a Templar Archives for XzOz just yet, but that should be coming in as well. Both players even adding cannons on. Templar Archives finally coming up here for XzOz, so it's just kind of a bit of a weird game right now. And it looks like Headmaster could be thinking about being a little bit more aggressive, but he still does have to worry about any possible Reaver drops. He does know the threat is there. And I mean, the Reavers are just kind of sitting back with the army defending. The Headmaster's moved forward because he wants to take a quicker third.
That's another way to get a huge advantage in PvP. I do like what XzOz has done and spread some scouting units all the way across the map, probe up in the top and on the bottom as well. But he's continuing to scout with probes. He's actually scouting with 3 probes simultaneously. That takes a lot of
coming in.
Yeah, it takes a lot of conscientiousness. Oh, it's a double slow crawling Reavers. Okay, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, wow, that's a lot of probes. Stick of kills here. We're looking at I can't tell because they're building scarabs,
yep.
But anyway. let's see. There's 3-on-1, and the other one has some scarabs building. I don't know. But this is actually super effective because the tech is built at the natural.
Not only that, but because of Headmaster's units being out in the, well, kind of the middle of the map, they have such a long path to come back to, and there's no shuttle Reavers back here to defend. The Citadel goes down, which realistically isn't all that important anymore. He doesn't really need it for anything. He's already got his Templar Archives, he has Zealot leg speed. But he did take a lot of damage there. I mean, he's still only 4 supply behind. He does, of course, have his Storm now as well, so that's going to benefit him in this coming engagement. But the Reavers are not finished. They're heading in through the middle of the map towards this third base. There's a Reaver back here to defend, but that's not going to be looking too good. There's going to be 2 dead cannons again. And are the probes going to transfer into these Reavers? That could be a massive mistake, but it looks like he should be fine. And here we go, the big engagement.
I don't know about 5, but yeah, this is the correct reaction. The problem is he's fighting low ground to high ground with a mostly Dragoon army. Now, he does have Psi Storm, but that doesn't make up for having your army at such a huge mischance disadvantage. So it just goes terribly, terribly wrong. And sure, the Storms are good, but one Storm doesn't kill a Dragoon. So it's like, well, I don't know what you're going to do there, except for retreat. So he's... Headmaster's really losing on 2 fronts there. He lost a bunch of probes and infrastructure, and he can't push in to counterattack.
Yeah, I mean, the one benefit is he does have this Nexus. He only lost about 6 probes, I think, overall. He's only just behind in supply. He's got a good number of gateways now. 6 gateways for him. XzOz is on 1, 2, 3. XzOz also on 6 gateways, but going up to 8. But the trouble is, XzOz is a little bit further off on his third base. Obviously, we don't have those probes mining at this third just yet. And Headmaster's got a little bit of a bank that he really does need to spend on some more gateways. But here we go, we've got another engagement coming on. In the middle, the Reaver goes down, but not without doing a ton of damage. But this is a much better place for Headmaster to engage in. But now there's Storm on both sides. It's a little bit harder for him to really make use of his units.
Yeah, keep in mind that there's that armor upgrade, which is actually pretty big. Not against Storm, but against the Dragoons and stuff. He's actually, oh my god, he's pushing into like massive Storm. So that is probably not a great idea. But the armor upgrade is still going to be good enough to make this a much closer fight than it would have been initially. And it's actually going to be a win for Headmaster in the end because those Storms were so insane. He had like 4 more Storms than XzOz when going into this fight. But I don't know if this is going to be a fight he can continue because behind this, XzOz is double expanding, including a secret expansion in the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah, this hidden expansion could be the be-all and end-all in this game. We saw it in the ASL with Best versus Shuttle. Or was it Shuttle versus Rain? I think it was...
No, it was Best versus Shuttle. I remember that one because Shuttle was playing like a badass, but Best was just like, oh, by the way, I just have more income than you do.
Okay, there's still an observer here, but yeah, the probe's transferring over to the third base now. Interestingly, he's expanded, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but he's taken the third of the other main, so it's a lot further away, not only from Headmaster, but also his own base. So I mean, it could be possible that we could see like a shot with speed come in, do some harass. And this is a lot of probes that have been transferred away from the main. And a lot of Dragoons have actually been stuck in the main for a while. They're breaking down the pylon now to make their way out, as they can't get past the gateway, which is kind of funny. But that's always one of the amazing things about this map. The mains are very, very narrow. Makes it a little bit harder for Dragoons. But here we go. It looks like both players going to be expanding the same direction. Over here on the right, some units have actually been pulled over by Headmaster to kill this probe. But is he going to be able to see this hidden expansion on the top right? Is he even going to check for it? If he does, that's going to be a massive win for him.
I love how he expands to the base that's just so close, but not the one that's actually been ninja'd. That's fantastic. I always appreciate G5 was a guy that was very similar to this, who would always like just make the craziest moves that you would never expect, and that's why they would work out. So let's watch this double the storm drop, but the shuttle has precisely 2 HP.
Oh, so, it's gonna die to the cannon.
Oh, he knows he has to drop the High Templar. He's gonna get the gas probes, but you know it's Pyrrhic victory really at best.
Somehow there was actually a storm that went off on the looked like a storm going off on the army of Headmaster, but I don't really know where the High Templar would have been. The Observer does go down. Maybe I was just confusing myself, but XzOz has a probe in the bottom right as well. But here we go. It looks like we're going to have Headmaster pushing in now. He's going to have the high ground. There's a very small ramp here that's going to be very hard for XzOz to push up. This is the problem with trying to take this base. And this engagement could, in fact, decide the outcome of this game, depending on how much each player commits. And things are going pretty well for Headmaster, but XzOz with a big... Oh my god. So many
Headmaster's storms are just insane. And he's got 2 more, I believe. Yeah, there they go.
Oh, 3 High Templar just went down to a storm, though. On
none of them had energy. They just cast their last storm, so I don't think it was that impactful. But in the end, the Nexus is going to go down, and so this is actually, dare I say, a win for Headmaster. It's pretty close.
Kind of is. I mean, he's now got the 4th base up himself, so he has got a base advantage for the time being. But both players. Yeah. The supply has been so even this entire time. There's a 10 supply gap now, but there is a good number of extra probes for XzOz at this hidden base. Looks like we're going to have some Zealots moving in onto this 3rd base, or 4th base here, but there's already 3 cannons. Probes have been pulled as well, and this could actually be leading XzOz up to his hidden base.
Yeah, that is the downside of expanding here, is that when you get attacked, it's like, wait a second, what's going on here? I think, he was on the way to scout that base with the Observer. Yeah. He pulled it back to be with his army. Now, XzOz has theoretically had an advantage this game, but he keeps running into just like massive Psi Storm and just losing all of his units. So I think as soon as that trend stops, I think he'll be okay, because thankfully he has this hidden base. If he didn't have this hidden base, he'd actually be in so much trouble right now. And I think that Headmaster should start to kind of figure that out. Yeah. Or is he? Or is he, Kicks?
This is so unbelievably close to where this base is. He's moving all of his army there, though, for whatever reason. Okay, he has a feeling it's something.
Hey, my man! Oh, man, you gotta type something in chat when that happens. Like, wait a second. There shouldn't be units here. And you can click on the mineral patches and see that it's actually been there for a while.
Yeah.
A non-zero amount of time.
Now the big problem is, XzOz is barely mining it as natural. His main is completely mined out. He's been actually distance mining from his 3rd to try and rebuild the Nexus, because he knows he has to replenish with army. The Headmaster with a huge supply advantage now, and things have completely flipped on their head. The advantage that XzOz has all but disappeared, and Headmaster is in an incredibly good position now.
Does XzOz still have a speed shuttle? He does. He doesn't have any Reavers. So he's got 2 Zealots and a High Templar in this, and it's going to try to come around for the 3 o'clock. And actually, if he gets lucky with this timing, the entire army will have just left. So there could be an absolutely game-equalizing Psi Storm in here. Maybe that's going a little bit too far, but here we go.
Still having a bit of trouble. He's dropping really, really far away from the bases, and that's actually going to give Headmaster time to come back to defend this. Now the Zealot did.
Oh my god! Oh, the card! Oh, does he have another one? Oh, the High Templar died.
Yeah.
So close.
Still, it looks like it couldn't be close enough. I mean, Headmaster's army is still so big. The speed shuttle is going to go down as well. That's 1 less storm he's going to have for defense. And XzOz is still not fully mining on his 4th base. Things are not looking good. He has the high ground here, but there's going to be a lot of storm on both sides. How is this engagement going to go? Is the high ground really going to make that much of a difference with such an overwhelming army supply advantage for Headmaster? Oh, and this is a good play moving in from both angles.
Yeah, Headmaster actually kind of really turning this around. I don't know, the power of Psi Storm. What a great equalizer. Especially when your opponent runs its army into it. But honestly, I did think he was pretty far behind at one point, and he really did a great job coming back. And now, if he crushes this base again, that's basically GG.
And not only that, he's got 9 High Templar here with this army, regardless of how many units that XzOz could muster. He is not going to be able to take down that much Psi Storm. He's actually just storming the 4 probes that are at the base right now. He knows he's at an unsurmountable advantage. A big High Templar drop does go down, storms some army, but the trouble is the Dragoons are really beefy now. He has +2 attack, and wait, has he actually got any units left? I want to see what armor upgrade he got to. Looks like we're not going to be able to see that. GG, XzOz taps out. at 100 supply deficit, and Headmaster takes the first win here for pSi.
This is how you know that if Headmaster had to choose between Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, he would definitely choose the Pikachu one, because pretty big fan of storming absolutely everything in that game, and I think that XzOz was kind of caught off guard. Obviously, he committed pretty heavily to investing in that northeastern base, but it would have been his ticket back into the game after he lost his army. Unfortunately, he then lost the base and then lost the game. So, oh well. But that does put Psi up 1 game over ReV.
It does indeed. And we're going to be back in just a moment with game number 2, which is going to be Avilov, aka Care Bear, versus Grass. See you guys very soon.